Hello everyone, it's Taylor and I am here today for my Team Project Pan update for February. So this is going to be my first check-in for my Team Project Pan. If you're not familiar, Team Project Pan is something that is new for 2019. It's a hashtag Team Project Pan, and it's basically a group of us who are participating in the Project Pan together, and I just think that's a really great idea, and I think it's really cool that, you know, you can search the hashtag on YouTube, find support if you're doing the project, or if you just like to watch projects, then you can search the hashtag and hopefully find loads of content. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into my updates. I'm gonna go through these products in the order that I first introduced them to you guys in. So let's start with our primer, and that is the Becca First Light Priming Filter. So I was able to make some pretty good progress this month. Where's my mark? So as you can see, the mark is here, and I've used up this entire amount of product. I really think that I can probably finish this in February, so that's going to be really exciting, and then I can rotate in a new primer into the project. Next up, my Flower Beauty Light Illusion Foundation. And this foundation I mentioned in the intro video. I don't know if the product is just so thick inside there or what's happening, but with a flashlight, with light bulbs, nothing, I cannot see through the packaging. So what I ended up doing was I weighed it. So at my intro video, this weighed 154 grams. Now it weighs 148 grams. So that's not a ton of progress, but it definitely is something. And I'm really not, this is a very, I don't know if you've ever used this foundation, but it's pretty substantial. The packaging is a really nice thick feeling glass, and even the cap is like has a lot of like plastic in there. So I think the packaging might be accounting for a good majority of that 148 grams that I have left, but I'm just gonna keep using this until it's gone. Something to note is my progress will be pretty slow, probably until I would say maybe April or May, because right now this foundation is too dark for me to use on its own. I have to mix it with another foundation, and actually my mix is like 2/3 of the other foundation and like a tiny little like half a pump of this foundation. So the progress is very slow going. But once I hit summer and I start to get a little bit more of a tan, I think I can use this up faster. For concealer, I'm using my Tarte Shape Tape, and there's not a ton to say about this one. I'm using it every day I wear makeup. I have not had to take the stopper out yet, and with this concealer, even though I use it under my eyes and I kind of even out, like I get the most of my hormonal redness really through the center of my face, very bad on the tip of my nose, so I definitely do conceal right down the center. However, you don't need a lot of this product when you use it. I can, like one dip into the tube will conceal my entire face and maybe even have a little bit left over on the applicator. So it goes a long way. I did weigh this one as well. It was 27 grams when I started, and it's now 24 grams. So I managed to use up a little bit of product. For my powder product, I have this Jane Iredale Mineral Pressed Foundation, and I don't know if you can see, might be hard to see, but I have completely worn away the indentation that was on there, the sort of logo indentation that was on the powder, and if I look closely, I can start to see the rings at the bottom of the pan. So it may still be a while before I hit pan on this, but that's really encouraging to me that I can see the rings and that the logo pattern is completely gone. Very exciting news for you. I have finished my setting spray. So for those who don't remember, this was the Smashbox Photo Finish setting spray, and I had decanted it into this travel container because it just worked a little better in my everyday makeup basket, and I like actually the sprayer on this bottle better than the sprayer on my Smashbox bottle. So what am I trying to say to you? So I did go ahead and use that up, which means I'm going to rotate in a new product. And the product that I am rotating in is this Pumice Hydration Spray from Jane Iredale. And unfortunately, it is metal and completely opaque. So I'm not going to be able to tell you, like to visually show you. I think this might be another one that I'm gonna have to weigh to help show my progress. But this spray here, I don't know if this is meant to be used as a skincare spray. It's got really nice ingredients in it. Like they seem pretty natural, and it smells delicious. I have already been using it for a couple of days and the smell is just gorgeous. So I'm really enjoying it. I basically use this as the spray before my setting spray. So because I have dry skin and I like a lot of powder, I always use a little bit of a hydrating spray or like a glycerin based spray before I do my setting. So basically anything to like soak up and bind the powders and make them look a little less cakey. And then I go in with a setting spray. So there is not glycerin. I went through the whole ingredient list on the back. There isn't glycerin in this. It seems to be mostly natural ingredients, but so far it's still doing the trick of what I would expect a glycerin spray to do. So I'm really liking it and hoping I can get it used up this year. For my bronzer product, I am panning the Too Faced chocolate bronzer in Milk Chocolate Soleil, which I absolutely love this color. It is the perfect color for a pale person like me, and a very exciting development this month. I have hit baby pan. I was not expecting to hit pan on this product for a very long time. So that was like the most encouraging thing I think that could have happened to me this month. I started this project being able to see the rings. I think you can even see them if you look closely in the center. I could see those rings at the beginning of January, but still every single day I was like, when am I gonna hit pan? When am I gonna hit pan? And finally I did, pretty much like 3/4 of the way through January. So I've been using it with pan for about a week, 2 weeks now maybe, and you can see the pan has barely expanded. So I mean, it is gonna take, I'm guessing, the majority of the year to use this thing up. The one thing I will point out is because this product is a little bit older, it does have some hard pan starting to form around the edges, and I am going to scrape that off as I need to. That is sometimes wasteful with the product, but it just doesn't perform right when you're trying to swirl your brush around and there's hard pan. You're not picking up the product the best you can. So my personal thought process is it makes the product apply better. It makes it easier to use when there's not hard pan. So as I need to, I'm gonna go in and scrape off just the hard pan bits, and I use a very light amount of pressure. I use a beauty spatula, so it's very hygienic and just gets that hard pan off the top. My blush in this project is NARS Madly, and this is another one that's really been giving me lots of encouragement. So if you can see here, let me get it to focus on the blush. I hope it's focus. All right, it's not gonna focus entirely, but I think you could see. So when I started this project, it was just a little bit of pan like right in there, and the side was still all with product. So I have cleared out this whole corner here, and I'm working my way down. So my plan on using this blush is to work my way down and use up all of the product like on this half of the pan, and then work my way over. I think that's just you know, if you have more of a targeted approach for using blush and bronzer products, you're going to get more progress. You're going to see pan faster, as opposed to if I was, you know, taking from this side and then going over here and then going down here. You would be using the whole product at an even rate, but you wouldn't see pan as fast. So I'm definitely working with a pretty targeted brush and working in a specific area to use up the product. My highlight for this project is Becca Moonstone, and this guy here obviously is depotted. If you can see around where the pan is, there's the ring. When I started in January, you could only see the ring at one portion of the pan. So now you can basically see the ring. Actually, you can see the inner ring all the way around the pan. So slowly but surely I'm using that up. I've never tried to pan a highlighter, so I don't know what that process looks like. I feel like I've made pretty good progress considering that it goes in very, you know, tiny specific places on my face. I'm happy with the progress I've made, and I'm really enjoying using this particular highlighter, so I'm just gonna keep trucking through. Something that I have had little to no progress on this month is my ColourPop single shadow. This is a Super Shock shadow in the shade La La. So there, right there at that angle, you can see that I do have baby pan right in the middle. I had that pan when I started this project. I think I have used this eyeshadow twice in the month of January. I honestly don't think I'm going to pan this shadow. I don't know. I may even end up, one of the rules of the Team Project Pan is that quarterly you can transfer out products that aren't working for you. So this may be one of the products that I transfer out and actually end up decluttering. I just find that I am not drawn to this ColourPop formula as much anymore. It's absolutely beautiful once it's on the eyes, but just the hassle of having to go to something outside of my palette and having to work with it with only very specific brushes or fingers work with this product. And then in addition, like I have to, you know, be super careful that I've closed it, otherwise it's gonna dry out. And I think over the course of this year, it's gonna dry out anyway. So I may just rotate it out of the project and keep it around until it dries up. I went ahead and put 2 single eyeshadows in this project. The first one is Mirage, and I'll show you last month's clip now. And here is Mirage this month. So yeah, as you can see, I am making great progress with this shade. In the month of January, I did have to repress it. So I went ahead and repressed it, and now I think I could use this up in 2, max 3 weeks. The second single eyeshadow in this project is Brown Script by MAC. Last month it had a tiny bit of a dip and nothing crazy. And this month I have managed to, come on, focus please. I've managed to expand that the slightest bit. I can actually physically see the dip, but it's gonna be a while before I hit pan on this one. It is so hard packed, like tightly packed in there. It's gonna take me forever and a day to use up this shadow. 2 products I'm gonna mention super quick. My Revlon glitter and my ColourPop eyeliner. Neither of these has enough progress to even show you, so I'm just gonna move on from them, and hopefully next month I will do better at actually picking them up more and using them. My mascara is the CoverGirl Super Sizer Mascara. I'm using this every single day that I wear makeup. It's great. It is starting to dry up, so I'm thinking very soon I will need to throw this out. It's not past its 3-month mark. I think I've only been using it for maybe 2 months. So probably at the end of February, if it hasn't dried out yet, by the end of February, I will be just throwing it out because hygiene reasons. My holy grail brow gel is the Kush Fiber Brow Gel in the shade Haze. I'm sorry for all those people who like to keep their makeup super neat and clean. What you're about to see is going to horrify you. So I took the stopper out of this, and this is the situation. It is a mess. However, I do not regret taking the stopper out of it, because towards the beginning of January, I thought this product was almost gone. I was having to go in again and again and just really scrape to get any product out. And I was like, you know what? For, I think it's like 26 or maybe it's 18. I have no idea. It's expensive. It's a high-end brow gel. For the price, I was like, I did not get nearly enough use out of this. Well, joke's on me, okay? Or joke's on anyone who throws this away when they feel like it's running out. I popped the stopper, and I'm not even kidding you guys, there's gotta be at least like 6 more months of product in there. Maybe 6 months is an exaggeration, but for sure I can use this for a few months continuing on. There was probably, I would say, half the product still left at the bottom and around the edges and everything. And it is a little bit more of a hassle to use because I have to take out the wand and scrape and scrape and scrape and maybe even sometimes dab on a paper towel just to make sure I don't have like a massive amount. I am always really careful to start out on the outer edges now so that I don't like glob some right in the front. Sometimes I still do, but we've talked about this before. I'm not into a super clean, structured brow, so I'm okay if my brows are looking a little crazy from day to day. So yeah, long story short, if you have this, if you're willing to take the extra 10 seconds a day to clean up the wand, pop the stopper out. It is so worth it, especially because this is, like I said, my new Holy Grail brow product. It was entirely worth it to me to get, you know, almost a brand new tube, it felt like. My final product in this project pan is my Zara Femme perfume. I just love this. One of these days I'm going to look up the notes for you guys because it's absolutely stunning. I actually need to do my perfume collection, so maybe I'll show you, I'll save the notes for that because I'm obsessed with perfume. This is my Zara Femme perfume, and I wish I could like hold it flat for you. When I look at it, it looks like I've made more progress, but I just don't know exactly what's even. So it's not a ton of progress, but let me see. You can see the tiniest bit of progress, and that's okay with me. I don't use this on an everyday basis. I'm not trying to use this up in a month or 2 months. I'm okay with this one taking me most of the year, maybe even 6 months to get through. I'm just really enjoying it. As I mentioned in my intro, it's a very nostalgic perfume for me. So I'm okay with savoring it and using it throughout this entire year. And I do like that it is a pretty like seasonally appropriate for any type of season. It's a little bit musky enough to be okay in fall and winter, but sweet and like flirty enough to go for spring and summer. So I'm down to keep using this until the end of the year, and we'll just see how long it takes me to use up.